Years ago, I still remember the time when one of my relatives told me that he was making hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single year just by keeping his money in a high yield savings account. And at the time, I had my money sitting in a normal checking and savings account making maybe $1 a year. And that conversation hit me because I realized that I was missing out on money simply because I didn't know better. Since then, I've gone on a journey to find so many simple but effective ways to speed up your savings, and I want to go ahead and share some of those tips with you here today. So here's a simple but powerful strategy that has helped me a lot over the years, and I believe can also help you as well. It's called the small plate strategy. The theory is that when you're at dinner or some sort of meal and you have a larger plate, you'll naturally end up eating more food than if you actually use a smaller plate, because with a bigger plate, there's much more room to pack on food and different various items, whereas if you're using a small plate, there's not as much room to be able to put as much food. Therefore, the theory says that you naturally will eat less. You see, the size of the plate influences our behavior, even if we don't realize it. Now, apply that to your money. When your cash is sitting in one big account, it can feel like you have a lot of money just sitting there to spend on whatever you might want to spend it on. And in theory, you'll end up spending more money that way. Whereas if you divide that account into smaller, more purposeful buckets, maybe one for bills, another one for daily expenses, another one for savings, it'll reduce the amount of money that you're seeing when you're looking at each individual account. You'll also know the specific purpose for what that money is there for. And in theory, that small shift can lead to a reduction in your spending. This ties into something called Parkinson's Law, which says that we tend to use up whatever we have. So the more money you see, the more money you're likely to spend. That's why it can be helpful to keep your emergency fund or any other savings goal that you might have at a separate bank with a separate app, so that you're not seeing it on a day-to-day basis. This can create an out of sight, out of mind effect, and you're less likely to dip into it because you're not always seeing it whenever you're logging into your banking app. It's a small shift that I made years ago, but it's had a profound impact on my ability to save, and to save at a quicker rate. Tip number 2, automate your savings. If you're relying on willpower alone to save money, chances are when your willpower fades, your savings will take a hit. That's why one of the easiest things that you can do to speed up your savings is to automate it. If you have to, start small, but when you automate it, what you're doing is you're cutting out the need to make a decision every single time you want to move money over. You make the decision once and you allow it to run over and over and over again over time. You remove a lot of that friction and you're making savings your default behavior. Tip number 3, save the extras. An unexpected way to boost your savings rate is by treating unexpected or irregular income as savings, as opposed to more money that you get to spend on something that you want. This can include things like a tax refund, a Facebook Marketplace sale, a birthday gift, or anything like that. When receiving this type of money, it's really easy to think that it's just spending money, because you might think to yourself, well, this wasn't my money to begin with, so I'm kind of playing with house money at this point. But instead of spending it, what if you made saving the default habit? Since you likely weren't depending on that money to live with anyway, consider tucking it away in your savings and giving yourself a bigger boost for the future. Tip number 4, reduce your expenses. One of the fastest ways to boost your savings is simply by spending less. But that doesn't mean that you have to overhaul your entire financial picture. You can start by trimming non-essential costs. And you can even try this experiment of going inside of your bank account and looking at the last 30 days of transactions. You can ask yourself, am I spending too much on food? Or how much am I spending on food? Am I spending too much on takeout? Am I spending too much on subscriptions? Or are there any subscriptions that I even forgot about that I can very easily cancel? And for example, let's just say that you canceled a subscription that was running you $15 a month. By canceling that one subscription, you can now funnel $180 extra into your savings account that was going towards a subscription that you might not have been using anyway. If you cut 2 or 3 expenses like that, then that could easily be $500 extra or more per year that was just hiding in your spending. And you see, the key isn't depriving yourself. It's being intentional about where your money is going and looking for ways that you might be overspending, or even areas that you know that you can cut in your budget. And lastly, as a bonus tip for those of you still watching, it's to increase your income. And I know This isn't always the easiest one to do, and it's often out of your control. But when combined with the other strategies that we've talked about, it can be an extremely powerful tool in helping you boost your savings. If you really want to accelerate your savings, one of the best things that you can do is find ways to increase the amount of money that's coming in. This might look like picking up a side hustle, finding things around the house that you can sell on something like Facebook Marketplace, or even asking for a raise at your current job. But in saying this, I want to be very, very clear. Making more money is often not enough on its own. If it was, every high earner would be wealthy. But the truth is that how much you make does have an impact on your ability to save. If you've already cut your spending and increased your income, how much you earn and increasing that amount can greatly and drastically improve your ability to save money at a faster rate. Even just a little bit extra coming in can go a long way if used wisely. See, saving money doesn't have to mean huge sacrifices or living on the bare minimum. Sometimes it's about building momentum, getting creative, and making small choices over and over and over again that add up over time. Whether it's the small plate strategy, automating your savings, cutting back on expenses, or saving the extras, the key is to make sure that you're starting today and you're making consistent progress over time. Saving money faster is a game changer, and now you have several strategies on how to do that. But what if I told you that a lot of people are actually undoing their progress day after day after day without even knowing it? If you want to avoid some of these traps yourself, make sure you check out my next video where I'll be breaking that down. If you got any value out of this video, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you're brand new. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.